All right. When did I receive my call from God? Thinking about that question, it's definitely a little difficult to answer or to pinpoint a time. I definitely knew that I had a call into ministry around my junior year of high school. I think that's when I started to think, hey, maybe I'm called to preach. Maybe I'm called to pastor. Now I can think about two distinct opportunities that I had to walk out that calling. I realized that the Lord had called me to be a pastor and maybe a church planner. But that first opportunity that I had to minister, to lead people through the Word of God was my freshman year of college. I was playing football at North Carolina Wesleyan University, and during the first few weeks of football practice, you call that time training camp, or 2 days. You would practice twice a day back when that was still legal in 2019 or in 2015 through 2019. And because of the rigorous schedule, there are a few Sundays where we were asked to practice. And a lot of my teammates were actually missing church. And they knew what I was about. And so they said, hey, Joe, why don't you lead Bible study or, do it like a church service for us? And I remember being like, maybe this is something that I can begin to do. And I remember talking to my resident advisor, or my direct advisor. He was the one that was over the RAs at the time. He was over our building at the time, and he actually happened to be a minister, Mr. Rice. And I remember having meetings with him, and he said, "Yes, let's do it. Let's make flyers for it and have a theme." And the name of that Bible study was called Turning Reality. Lessons Learned was an acronym, Trill Talk. So we had Bible study every week in the lobby of my residence hall. So that was the first time the Lord had said, "Yes, this is an opportunity for you to spread my gospel, to spread my word amongst others, and have to be amongst my peers and my teammates." And then the next time would be when I went home, and when I realized that I had opportunities for the gospel foundations. I had to talk about this last week, and actually in the last question, it was really a switch where, okay, I can be more than a big brother to my neighborhood. I can do Bible studies in my neighborhood. And so again, the question is, when I see my call to my junior year of high school, but when was I called to do these specific things? That's when it happened around my freshman year of college. What was the assignment? Well, the assignment was to make sure that my teammates were still being spiritually formed, were still able to grow in their knowledge of the Lord through the knowledge of the Scriptures. And the assignment for the kids in the neighborhood was to be more than a big brother, was to make disciples out of all nations. Am I fulfilling that now? Well, I'm no longer a football player. I'm now a coach. So that's definitely evolved over time, and being a disciple maker and someone who helps spiritually form students. That's definitely something that I'm doing now as a youth pastor and as a coach. And for those young men, actually, I still meet with some of those young men weekly for some discipleship time as we go through the scriptures together. So I'm still pouring into, at that point they were kids, and now they're developing to 18, 19, and 20-year-old young men. Has it changed? Yeah, it has definitely changed. I've matured. I'm no longer playing football, but I'm a coach. I'm no longer. Well, I guess those kids are now developed into young men. So that's changed too. And all of those experiences in college and on the streets of my neighborhood have prepared me for the position I am now as a local youth pastor. Still doing the same things in a different context now, supported by a larger body of believers. So as I've been thinking through those questions, it is amazing how, that call from the Lord has, not really totally changed, but has evolved into where I am in this stage of life right now. Right. So, that's my submission for my my question of the questions we had for this week. All right.